Hello, it's the 20th of October, 2022. What a great year it is. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see. I'm Rudy Maxa. I'm a travel journalist and broadcaster. I'm back with Tommy Danielson, who knows everything about the travel industry. And if you're a regular, you know that a couple times a week we try to fill you in on what's happening with travel. Please keep in mind, if you're watching this later, after October 20th, 2022, keep in mind the information, as far as we know, is correct as of this time, but it may not be correct next week or next month or long after we're gone. I don't know how long this stuff will stay up on Facebook and YouTube, but here we are. Okay, so you've got more items than I do today. Tommy, you want to start it off?
I'll definitely start it off for you. So, big news is that the Ritz Carlton, brand new Ritz Carlton, finally had their maiden voyage for their new and Discover, getting some free advertising here on on our channel. Ritz Carlton finally set sail from Spain and on the October 15th, going on a journey from Barcelona to Spain, and in Spain over to France and some other Mediterranean countries. Which a brand new cruise ship that has 149 suites only and a maximum of 298 passengers. So they are finally rolling, and after about 10 delays over the last few years, and now they're on their way. What do you think of that?
Well, I think it's great. I think the Four Seasons has one too, doesn't there? They're about to. They're making it.
They're a few years away. We covered that a few weeks back, and they're definitely a few weeks away, years away.
Well, they're taking bookings for a Four Seasons cruise right now, which probably they probably lease another ship and fix it all up. I don't know.
No, I think it's a brand new ship. We did cover that, and I think it comes in 2025. So that's the last I heard of that. It's a brand new ship, a brand new build, which is kind of the same thing. It looks pretty ugly. It's the only thing I've seen. We haven't seen it in real life because it doesn't exist yet.
Right.
So there you have it. They wrote a contract and made the announcement, and that's the last I heard of that.
Well, that's weird.
But here you go. It's $6,400 a week. Well, it really isn't. There are cruises in the Caribbean, and there are some other deals to be had for a couple of thousand less than that. So the upper threes, I would say that it's a little bit more than a Seabourn and Crystal and those guys. But still a great alternative. And also you can earn miles and points, and also you can redeem miles and points soon on these ships.
Well, I've got to tell you, I'm looking while you were talking. I was listening to everything you said, but here join us on the Four Seasons Explorer, June 17th through October 30th of 2022, in the Maldives.
That's not they don't have crew. Let me find the article, Rudy. Now let's not give a.
Well, I'm at the Four Seasons site. Let's put it that way. Fourseasons.com.
Send me a link to that, but the
type in fourseasons.com/Maldives.
Yeah, the only thing that I have that I can put in this here is like this was from September the 28th. Four Seasons unveils plans for a luxury cruise line. They do have some island hopping stuff going on in the Maldives, but I think that's related to their hotels there. Not to actually be on a cruise line. I think you have to if you stay at the hotels, you can go between the various Four Seasons. There are two Four Seasons in the Maldives.
Yes, you're right, because there's a video of it with just sort of a large cabin cruiser, which is sort of misleading because when you click on the website, they show you anyway.
Yeah, there you have it. There's a recap of that. 2025 is when it's going to make the debut. And that's interesting. And we can segue in from that into Four Seasons getting a new CEO. And Alejandro Reynal is the new president and CEO of Four Seasons, which I thought was a little bit of an odd choice because he's like a low-cost guy. He's a local. So you remember British Airways got the CEO from Vueling to come over, and all the debacle that happened there with they cutting out, I have to pay £2.60 for a cup of tea in economy class on British Airways and that kind of stuff. Well, here they got this guy. He was the CEO of the Apple Group. What do they call the Apple? The Apple Leisure Groups, the ones that has the Apple Vacation and Fun Jets and all that stuff. That was his job before. Hyatt acquired Apple, the Apple leisure group last year, and he wasn't, somebody said, it says on his resume that he comes from Hyatt and all that stuff. He doesn't. He was on an advisory board to be a transitional guy. So he technically was on the Hyatt payroll for a little while, but he now is the new CEO of Four Seasons. So what are we talking about here? We're going to start charging extra ancillary revenue all over the place, or what do you think of that choice?
I don't know. I don't know if they brought him in to tighten things up. And I mean, Four Seasons has sort of maintained a luxury sort of approach, but they don't have a frequent guest program yet, do they? Four Seasons.
They have an invitation-only frequent guest program, Graham. If you have to ask, if you haven't been invited and you have to ask, then don't. Is kind of the way that works. But I think that it's interesting that he has an interesting background, because he came from Telefonica, and he actually left professionally the cell phone industry or the telecommunications industry about the same time that I did to get into travel. And as you know, Four Seasons was acquired. Isn't Bill Gates the largest shareholder now?
Yeah, I believe he is. I think the Saudis sold a little bit, most of their shares. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the controlling shareholder, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And Four Seasons have made such big investments and are kind of moving into new areas. Rich people want to have experiences now. They want to do other things, and they want to do it in private, and they want to do it. So they have their jet that goes around the world. In 2025, they get a cruise line, and they're trying to be creative. And also the Four Seasons Hualalai just made a marine park inside of their thing where you can go diving. Hawaii is not, there can be rough seas outside because it's in the middle of the ocean, but they have a marine park there where you can go in and you can, they have 25 people on staff, like marine biologist guys that runs this stuff. So they're really investing big bucks, and we're seeing spending now on hotels is just incredible. People want to get away from the crowds, and this is one of the things. So I think that's an interesting move.
We'll see what this guy does. In the airline industry, they had a great summer. American Airlines just reported a quarterly profit for the third quarter of this year of $483 million. And yesterday, or the day before, United posted a third quarter profit of $942 million, almost $1 billion. And the CEO, President Scott Kirby, here's his theory. You and I have been talking, as have all kinds of other travel people, about how business travel isn't coming back as strongly as leisure travel is. Scott Kirby's theory is that a lot of what we perceive as leisure travel is in fact business travel, because people aren't tethered to their offices anymore. They can work anywhere. And by the way, I have friends who are executives at United. They come in the office maybe 2 days a week in Chicago. They're doing it. And so is Scott Kirby and his fellow execs. I don't know Scott Kirby's exec schedule, but I know that some high up guys only work a couple of days a week. They live in other parts of the country. So there's a lot of travel among nomads who want to, go live in Barcelona for 6 months or a year or 3 months, or Portugal, or even the country of Georgia. They all, Costa Rica, they've all got these deals. Come on, live in, if you can make $2,000 a month and prove it, come live here. So
yeah,
now whether they're flying first class and paying for business seats, I don't know, but the airlines are flying full. You Mark, I know you'll say which they did, cut their schedules and got a little smarter about where they're flying, and the planes are more crowded. I just flew in from Chicago today, flew there 2 days ago. Every seat on the plane was full, everyone. So.
I think he's onto something. I think that there are some people, but I'm thinking what he says here is that money hasn't been the object of people moving around. That hasn't been. It's the availability of time that has been the objective, been the objection of moving for people. So we're talking about higher net people and senior executive people. We saw the trend, the summer, this summer that we just had. It tells you absolutely nothing about what state the airline industry is in financially. It absolutely tells you zero, because there was a super high demand. This is the first kind of COVID-free year. So people last year, there was demand, but they didn't really have all the planes flying last year. That's the first thing. And the second, so this year they did, well, not all, but they were still rolling out. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of other things happening this summer this was that for people who were COVID reserved, this was really their the people are holding back. They might have family that might be in a risk group, or they might, they want to see their parents, and they want to see people that are in the risk group. So they've been cautious about traveling. That's the rebound of the summer. I wouldn't say that, first of all, American, who is that, which is the largest airline in the world, making less than half than United did.
Right.
What does that tell you? It seems
right.
There's still a little bit trouble in the swamp down in Texas. So I think that, but I think Scott is onto something. I think that hybrid work is definitely something for people, as he says. It wasn't money that constrained people from travel. It was time. And now they have more time flexibility, and everyone I'm talking to does this. It's the new normal. I wouldn't go as far as that, because I think that at the end of the day, we're not going to see executives, they're not going to rent Willis Tower in Chicago. The people that I know, and I know some executives at United as well, quite a few of them. And the one that I talk to on a very regular basis, he's in the office every single day. He might work from home on a Friday or something like that, which is something that he did before. But I think it's too early to tell what the new norm is going to be. Now we have financial strains, and we have a recession coming up. But the summer of 2019, the airlines, they make the vast majority of their money in the summer. That's when all the planes are full all day, 24/7. If they can run the planes all day and all night, that's what they'll do. That's where all the airlines make the bulk of their profits. And then when winter comes, January, February, or March, it's really quiet. You got the big blips in the holidays. And right now, there is a reason why everybody, including United, are giving big discounts and are helping people get status and are helping do this and that. So saying that hybrid travel is the reason for it after a summer, well, summer is kind of the time when you get out of the office. But right now, there are other challenges than you have the stock market, you have inflations, you have other things. So while I think that it might be a part of it, but it's an interesting thing that he in this interview that he's coming out with for sure.
Yeah. Well, Royal Caribbean is launching the world's largest cruise ship in 2024. It's going to have neighborhoods, not just sections. They're calling them neighborhoods. They have 4 neighborhoods. It's called the Icon of the Seas, and they're going to have these 4 different neighborhoods. Apparently, I don't know, maybe one of the neighborhoods is a dangerous one. I don't know, but this is their big new 7 pools. 7 pools. 4 of them in one of the neighborhoods itself. The brand's first ever swim up bar at sea. I don't know if that's such a big deal. Vegas has had those forever, but the pictures of it, I don't know if you can see some of the pictures. I mean, it's got like a damn amusement park on the top of it, a water park.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about it, but I don't want to go on this ship. 7,800 people.
Unbelievable.
That is a lot of people jammed into. That's a lot of people that are going to be touching that ice cone machine.
Right.
Also looking at the back of it, you see on the left, you've got a multi-level sun deck. You've got a pool on the left. You've got a pool and an infinity pool on the edge, looked like in the back there. And then you also have on the bottom, you have a water park at the bottom as well. But think about the people who have those expensive cabins in the back there. That's going to be hearing all that noise all day. Is that really the most desirable thing to me? Is and this is nothing new. We've seen a lot of those ships has the kind of the alleyway in the middle of the ship, right, where they have various things that looks like a lazy river and some other things. And then they sell cabins that are not inside cabins, but they kind of face the courtyard in the middle there. I don't know. The most desirable cabins to me are in the back of a cruise ship. That's where I like to be. It looks like, it doesn't look like a vacation. It looks like, what do they call the water park down? Aqualand on the ocean.
They've got family suites that can fit up to 6 people with multiple bathrooms and something called dynamic spaces. I don't know what a dynamic space is. I don't know if that means you can move it around or what, but anyway,
it's for families. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Big offer, big news this week. The Chase Sapphire Reserve card is back with an $80,000 points upgrade bonus or sign up bonus. So if you don't have the Sapphire, this is the best I've seen in a while. And this card, literally pays for itself with the travel credits and the offerings that it includes. I'm not going to go through the card altogether, but it's a great sign-up bonus. If you want to have a premium credit card, it gives you lounge access all over the place and gives you $300 back. So the way that this works, it's $550 a year, but anything, if you buy a soda at a Marriott, or you buy a plane ticket, or whatever you do, the first $300 automatically comes out instantly after you've done it. So it's a $250 a year card. Which gives you and the best thing about this card is that is 3 miles per dollar spent on dining anywhere in the world. Amex has 4x on their gold card, but it's not all over the world. It's actually only in the United States. So this is, and also there are some limitations to that kind of stuff. So this is a great card for those who are interested in that. The value of the 80,000 miles that you get is actually significant, and this is a good deal that's out there that you can just go anywhere and figure out.
Okay. All right.
Last thing I wanted to talk about. We're a little bit behind the curve. I was going to talk about this last week, but unfortunately it's just been for both of us. I mean, I see both. I actually shaved last night. I see you haven't shaved yet, but it's been a crazy extremely long days, 14, 15-hour days for me. I just literally roll out of bed. And so we were going to talk about this last week. I had a friend of mine who's a big Lufthansa expert that couldn't make it, or I couldn't make it happen. It was just too many things going on. But Lufthansa has completely revamped their products for the future on their planes. And it starts with the first class, and the first class has everybody's all about the doors now in first class.
Yeah, it looks like a hotel room.
I wouldn't go as far as that, but there is an ottoman, so you can have people sit there and eat with you. And you also have a door that you can close. You can see across the aisle. This is a mock-up, obviously. They haven't done this yet. So, but the new seat looks. Finally, there's a door. There's privacy, and that's the kind of the new selling point for that. They also are doing a brand new business class, and their brand new business class is so their business class now is like, it's called the footsie class, because the feet are kind of meeting people together. But now you finally have the all aisle access for everybody. I like the table that they have there, that you have a flat area that's in a fixed position on the right. As you can see, this is a brand new thing. And they also have something called a first row suite, which is going to have doors that's going to only in the first row. There will be doors. There was no photos in the press release from last week about this, but it seems to me like it's a lot more privacy. You have a lot more room, and you also don't have a double seating. So that's the sides, the side of it. I saw also. Hang on. There was another photo here.
Is there more than one seat in this first row deal?
Here you can see how it's going to be. So it'll be one row, one seat in the middle here in the middle seats, because they have Airbus 380s and 747s that are extremely wide. And
Did you say 747s?
Pardon?
Did you say 747s?
Lufthansa has 747 400s, a few of those left, and also 747-8, the new type, the last type that came out 2010-11. That's what they have. So and also Airbus 380s that are very wide. So you can't have 1-2-1 seat. That's not feasible, right? You need to have more seats in the width. So here's what they've done. They have one seat on the side for business travelers. That's where business travelers usually sit. And then you have, 2 and 1 in the middle, if you will. So you can, if you travel as a couple, you can sit in those middle seats. There's obviously going to be a divider. There's no pictures of that, so it's hard to tell. I find also interesting, we're talking a lot about business class, but, I've been traveling, not everybody can afford to go in business class every time. So there's a premium economy, and the premium economies on international flights, kind of what the constraints are for me is that the seats have a massive recline. Much more so. So it's very close to a first class domestic seat, but kind of not really, because there's a lot more legroom, and there's a footrest, and there's screens and more things that you don't get in a domestic first here in the US. But the seats are very similar. But on the international ones, the premium economy, I don't know if you noticed, Rudy, but the seats recline into your face with a guy in front of you.
I was just going to say, Yeah, I was
So
going
it's
to say.
tough to get out. So Lufthansa has found a solve that. This is a solid fixed wall that they're doing, and it kind of reclines into the seat like that.
Oh, yeah.
So
Interesting.
Air France tried something similar. It was not very successful. I think this looks a lot better. And it's funny how, it's kind of like the car industry, right? It's cars, the Jetta from 20 years ago was tiny. It was like the size of the smallest Volkswagen Polo. Now it's the same size as the Passat was in 2006. Cars just keep growing within segments, and that's what the airlines did. So business class is now what first class used to be, and now these seats in premium economy are starting to get close to what we used to do as business class with recliners back in 2001 to 2005, 6, 7, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of interesting with that.
Very nice looking seat.
And then also they've got some other things also for economy. You can pay for a small upcharge if it's available. You can pay to have the middle seat blocked in economy class on the 3-seater, as you can see here. They have a table like they often do on domestic, on European business class seats. They have the middle seat blocked, and so they have a table there to do it. So that's one product. That's a little bit more of a premium, but if you're traveling with somebody, you can remove that, and you can also lay down there, of course, as if you're two people traveling together. That's not bad. So that's a creative thing that they've come up with, and also they're doing the same thing as where the hell was that? I could have sworn there was a picture of that in this press release. I'll look it up. So, but they've also done. You remember? Have you heard of New Zealand that they have a bed that they sell in economy class?
Yes. Yeah. That was going to be the bunk bed, wasn't it?
No, they were. Yes, they are working on a concept of that, but they already have a product that they've been doing for a while. And Lufthansa's kind of still. They've already done this for a while, and they've offered it for flights that are. I did see it. So let's see here, news, because it was last week. Let me go back here and see if I can find that picture of that. You literally pay out the row in economy class.
Yeah.
And they are actually, so when you pay out the row in economy, they will give
you bedding.
You will get the whole 3-seater to yourself.
And
that 3-seater will be
will they give you bedding?
They will give you bedding, and they will. It doesn't show in the photo here. I could have sworn I saw this in that. I'm sorry, but it was just like a. Are
there a lot of these seats available?
It depends on the load on the flight. If the flight's light, yes, there is. So they give you bedding, and it's called sleeper row. Economy sleeper row is what it's called. Lie flat sleeper row in economy. Let me find an image and see if I can put it up here. So what it pretty much comes down to is here's a picture. So what it pretty much comes down to is that you get the whole row, you get bedding, and they also have in front of the seat. I don't see if you can see it in this picture. This is Air New Zealand's product. But there is in the front of the seat, there's this ottoman type chair that folds up. So it becomes a really wide bed.
Right.
So it's not just a seat. It also clicks up, as you can see. I don't know if you can see the two people there in the picture.
I can see. Are they promoting this? How come I've never even heard of this?
They are promoting it. It exists today. If there is room on the flight, they have it available. Yes.
I'll be darned.
And they're literally just taking the extra seats that are not for sold. I don't know if they have the. I saw a Lufthansa picture with the seats that fold up for sure. I'm sorry that I didn't have time to quality check the links today, but
so Air New Zealand and Lufthansa are offering these, as far as you know.
Lufthansa is doing it, and Air New Zealand has had it for years. They've had it for a long time. So if you don't have the budget of spending crazy money, or mostly people who buy business class tickets and first class tickets are usually people who are on business trips. So somebody else is paying, right? So if you want to splurge and things like that, it's good to have options.
Good to have options. Well. Today's option, you chose a good one to tune in today. We'll be back at some point as news dictates. But keep in mind, we're talking to you on October 20th of 2022. So our information should be regarded in light of that date. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, Rudy. Welcome back home. And we'll got a lot of travel coming up in the next few weeks, and we'll see you out there.
Okay. Bye-bye.